Hey everyone, welcome back to The Things. Today we're going to explore the craziest, most mind-blowing Pixar theories that will definitely change the way you see Pixar films from here on out. Watch until the end to discover the mega theory that places all the Pixar movies on the very same timeline.
Speak!
Hi there.
Did that dog just say hi there?
Oh, yes.
Bruh!
Andy's mom. Pixar theorist Jon Negroni is a blogger with a lot of insight into the Pixar world. Remember his name because we're going to circle back to him later on. In this theory, he found a connection between Andy's mom and a certain toy in the Toy Story movies. As Jon puts it, it all started with a hat. He's talking about the cowboy hat that Andy frequently wears in the film, or should we say cowgirl hat. If you look closely, you'll see that Andy's hat looks more like Jesse's hat instead of Woody's.
My hat! Oh, Slink! Thank you. Where'd you find it?
Well, that's the bad news.
It's the same red hat with white lacing around the brim as the one that Andy wears. And while there is a white band around the crown of Jesse's hat, that element is missing in Andy's. But look closer and you'll see a faded area where the band used to be. We all remember the heartbreaking story of Jesse's owner, Emily, who outgrew her and discarded her by the side of the road. Well, Negroni believes that Emily was actually Andy's mom and that she kept her hat, eventually handing it down to Andy. The Boo Witch. This Pixar theory is pretty popular, even if it is a bit of a mind bender. Apparently, Boo is actually a time-traveling witch from Brave. Allow us to explain. According to many fan theories, Boo misses Sully so much, she becomes obsessed with finding him. So she grows up to become a witch who uses magic on doors to travel through time so she can look for her long-lost furry friend. She winds up going all the way back to the source of magic, the Will-o'-the-Wisps from Brave. That means Boo is the same witch from Brave, and she has one goal: to find her kitty, who bears a striking resemblance to a bear. That explains why she disappears whenever she passes through the door, and if you look at her workshop, you'll see a carved piece of wood that resembles Sully. As the theory goes, Boo has traveled all over the Pixar-verse, leaving clues or Easter eggs in other Pixar movies in the hopes that she will lead Sully back into her loving arms. Many fans believe that's the reason for all of the Easter eggs in Pixar films. They are all a part of Boo's quest to be reunited with her monster.
What was that?
I have no idea, but it would be really great if it didn't do it again.
Bing Bong is a monster. Who's your friend who likes to play? Who's the guy who made us all sob in our popcorn at the movies? Bing Bong.
I cried candy. Try the caramel, it's delicious.
Ooh.
We all know that Bing Bong made the ultimate sacrifice in order to save Riley's joy in Inside Out. But what if it wasn't as big of a sacrifice as we all believed? What if it was just a memory that vanished and not the actual character? Our pal Jon Negroni believes that Bing Bong might actually be from the Monsters, Inc. world, and that he was assigned to Riley to make her laugh. Maybe Bing Bong became a colleague of Mike and Sully's after the restructuring of the company. So when they learned that monsters could create more energy from laughter than screams, Bing Bong became a natural fit as a new recruit. That would mean that Riley's memories of playing with Bing Bong were real and not just figments of her imagination. If that's the case, it seems that Bing Bong was breaking some rules by following Riley out into her living room in broad daylight. But he's so adorable, who cares? So Riley's laughter could be a part of the energy that lights up Monstropolis. The truth about Andy's father. As it turns out, Woody's history with his human family could go back a lot farther than Andy's childhood. E! Online interviewed Mike Mozart, a toy creator who consulted on the Toy Story films. Mozart revealed a secret that his late friend, Toy Story co-writer Joe Ranft, shared with him many years ago regarding the backstory of Andy's father. According to this theory, Andy's dad passed away before Andy's sister was born due to illness from childhood polio. Andy's father, whose name was also Andy, was the original owner of the classic 1950s toys, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky Dog, and of course Woody. That name written on the bottom of Woody's boot is actually in his dad's childhood handwriting. It's kind of a long story, but Andy's dad locked these toys in a trunk in the attic and passed them on to Andy Jr. According to Mozart, Andy's dad gave Andy the key to the trunk. He told his son that there is someone in that box who is going to be his favorite deputy and his best friend. He told little Andy that he is going to need a friend, so he wanted him to have the same best friend that he had as a child. We're not crying, you're crying. Cars replaced humans. Let's ride the theory train from sad town to morbid town with this next one. Screen Crush journalist Matt Singer interviewed Jay Ward, the creative director of Cars movies, at a press junket for Cars 3. He asked Ward where these cars came from. Ward's answer, which he claims as his own theory and has not been confirmed by Pixar, is pretty dark. He said that we are currently living in a time of autonomous car technology. We literally have driverless cars. So we pose the possibility of a time in the near future when cars keep getting smarter and more sophisticated. Eventually, they may ask why they even need human beings anymore. They may decide to just get rid of us. Ward added that the cars would take on the personality of the last person who drove them. Yikes! That means in the Pixar world, the human race was phased out by cute, big-eyed cars. Suddenly, the Cars movies seem more like horror flicks. The By and Large takeover. This huge corporate conglomerate can be found all over the Pixar universe. By and Large, or B&L, is the corporation that runs everything you see in the movie WALL-E. The B&L commercial in the film shows a history of the massive organization. The commercial states that B&L has even taken over all the world's governments. That means they succeeded in obtaining complete global dominance. You'll see references to this company in several Pixar movies if you're paying close attention. For instance, in Toy Story 3, the batteries in the Buzz Lightyear doll are from B&L. If you follow the timeline of all the Pixar films, the movie Up represents the beginning of the By and Large takeover. If you look at the construction equipment that aims to tear down Carl's house, you'll see that they all have the B&L logo on them.
Quite a sight, huh, Ellie?
Then B&L just keeps getting bigger and bigger until you come to WALL-E, where everything has been destroyed. The humans have become these weak blobs with no planet and no free will. Hey, aren't kids' movies supposed to be happy? Up is an allegory. This theory began with a fan's post back in 2012. Reddit user Bubonus kicked everyone right in the feels with this revelation. According to the Redditor, Carl's journey in the movie Up may not be real. This user believes that Carl Fredricksen passed away in his sleep the night he came home from court with an order to move out of his beloved home.
What do I do now, Ellie?
Everything that happens after that night is an allegory for Carl's journey through the afterlife. While we would like to believe that you can make a house fly with a bunch of helium balloons, it's highly unlikely. Instead, the raising of the house represents Carl's spirit floating up and out of his physical form and into the spiritual world. That would make Russell Carl's guardian angel or spiritual guide. Russell mentions that he is trying to earn his final badge, which can be likened to an angel's wings. Another fan added that Russell could have taken the form of a child to fulfill Carl and Ellie's desire to have children. Mind blown. Nemo is made up. As fans have pointed out, in Jules Verne's classic sci-fi adventure, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Nemo is Latin for no one. It's interesting that Pixar chose this name for their title character. Why would they say that Marlin is finding no one? According to Pixar fan theories, it's because Nemo is actually a figment of Marlin's imagination. What really happened is that the barracuda, who is responsible for wiping out Marlin's entire family, didn't actually miss that last little egg. The whole tale of this classic movie follows a grieving father who must come to grips with losing everyone he loved. People have likened Marlin's journey as a representation of the stages of grief. When Marlin thinks his son survived, he is in a state of pure denial. He then skips right over anger and goes to bargaining when he won't allow Nemo to take any risks at school. He goes through various stages of anger and depression along his journey. In the end, we see Marlin's acceptance when he sends Nemo to school without any fear.
Bye, son.
So if you've cried enough salt water to fill a fish tank after this theory, don't worry, you're not alone. Brave. If you follow the timeline, Brave is the Pixar film set in the earliest time period. In the movie, Merida discovers a mysterious magic that she uses to try and solve her problems, but then her mother is accidentally turned into a bear. From our previous fan theory, we now know that this magic comes from the Boo Witch and is connected to the mysterious Will of the Wisps. We see animals behaving like humans, as well as inanimate objects like broomsticks in a witch's shop. The theory states that the witch experimented on and interbred the animals, which began the human-like progression of the animals in all subsequent Pixar films, like Ratatouille, Finding Nemo, Up, and Monsters, Inc. Inanimate objects also progressed with artificial intelligence, such as cars and robots. This era of human-like animal intelligence and artificial intelligence all began with The Witch and Brave. The Pixar Theory. This leads us to an interesting mega-theory that connects all of the Pixar movies together. It was created by the Pixar Theory master, Jon Negroni. Remember him from the beginning of the video? Now, this theory is detailed and complicated, so we're going to just do a super quick breakdown for you here. The good dinosaur marks the beginning of this alternate dimension where the asteroid responsible for dinosaur extinction misses the Earth. Since these animals survived, they evolved to have higher intelligence. Then the witch from Brave gives life to inanimate objects,
It was sweeping by itself.
That's ridiculous.
as well as human-like qualities to animals. Jump to the 1950s and 60s when the government creates human superheroes. Syndrome's invention of artificial intelligence wipes out the supers, and this leads to the beginning of mega corporation by and large. B&L makes toys as a way to harness and feed off of human energy. Fish develop the ability to talk, read, and speak in different languages. A rat becomes a famous chef. Easter eggs abound in every movie. Buzz has B&L batteries. B&L heads the construction crew that levels Carl's house, and we learn that human emotion has enough energy to light up a city. Also, Bong is a monster. Coco's story proves that human memories also have power. B&L takes over the planet and moves everyone to space. Cars take over the world. Eve and Wall-E bring a plant down to Earth. It is planted and eventually becomes the tree in a bug's life. At the end of Monsters, Inc., Boo becomes a witch in order to find the magic that will lead her back to Sully. She learns how to time travel through wooden doors. She door jumps back in time to recreate the monster she once loved, whose ancient ancestors were probably human-like bears. Whew! What do you guys think of this mega theory? Do you think it's possible for all the Pixar movies to be connected? If you agree with Negroni on this epic, mind-bending Pixar theory, leave a bear emoji in the comments. And those were the craziest Pixar theories of all time. If you love Pixar movies as much as we do, be sure to subscribe to the Things channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching!